Good morning,
Okay, so
sir.
once again, good
Morning po.
morning. Our discussion for today, of course, is about code quality, style and comments, and documentation for Java. Okay, so to start with, we need to consider that usually, if you work on a software project, and especially at the beginning of it, the code quality is not the first thing you pay attention to. So however, the question on how to improve code quality and efficiency should be one of the main concerns, no, for the developers, technical team lead, system architects, and even project manager. So how to improve the Java code quality? The code quality improvement is one of the things that require a well-developed strategy and adhering to it throughout the project lifecycle. It is only a matter of time when it catch you up and cause the problems. If you will just leave it unaddressed, that is why it is much better to manage this problem beforehand. So we commonly use Java for our projects and always look at the ways how to improve code quality in Java. So we do this by following software quality improvement techniques and using Java code quality tools that help us not only to improve our code, but also on our productivity. So of course, in this discussion, we take a look at the most used development methodologies and top-notch tools that we use to create better code. So uh, the intent is to consider the common approaches to code quality and helps teams choose methodology and tools that make their process efficiently. When it comes to the comments, no, Java programs can have two kinds of comments, no, implementation comments and documentation comments. So later on, the frequency of comments sometimes reflect poor quality of code. So when you feel compelled to add a comment, consider rewriting the code to make it clearer. So comments should not be enclosed in large boxes draw with asterisk or other characters, and comment should never include special characters such as a form feed and backspace. So for us to discuss in more detail regarding the code quality, style and comments and documentations, let us all welcome Sir Jefferson Morales. Take it away, sir.
Yes, good morning po sa lahat, no, classmates, Sir Dr. Marmelo, no. So, ang topic natin for today is code quality, style, comments, documentation. Okay? So, we will start with code quality, no. Okay? So, by the way, itong ano ko na research ko baka may difference dun sa ano sa nabanggit ni Sir kasi hindi ko nakita yung ano yung syllabus nung ano nung nito nga ng topic na to. So forgive me in advance. Ayan. So code quality defines ayan code that is good, okay, which is kapag good that is high quality, and code that is bad that is low quality. Okay? So this quality, good or bad, is all subjective. Different teams may use different definitions. Based on context, considered high quality may mean wanting for an automotive developer and may mean another for a web application developer. Okay, so difference sa mga uh, for example Android apps, ayan, may mga discrepancies yan, yung mga gumagawa ng web development. Okay? So the quality of your code is important as it impacts your overall software quality. If the quality of your code is bad, most likely your software quality will also be bad. No? So why code quality matters, no? So meron tayong ano diyan, factors diyan, yung code quality analysis, ayan, and also bakit bakit why does it matter yung code quality? Okay? So testing isn't enough, coding errors lead to risk, quality is everyone's responsibility. The first is the code quality analysis, no? So ayan, good code is high quality and it's clean code. No, pag sinabing clean code, yung madaling maintindihan and hindi siya may mga naliligaw na mga variables dun sa code mo, okay? It stands the test of time, okay? Ibig sabihin tumatagal siya and uh, you can still reuse it and yung maintainability niya is mataas, no? Bad code is low quality, it won't last long, okay? So code that is considered good does what it should, follows a consistent style, it is easy to understand, has been well documented, and it can be tested. Okay? So testing isn't enough, no? A study on software defect origins and removal methods found that individual programmers are less than 50% efficient at finding bugs in their own software. So individual programmer, ibig sabihin, ano lang siya, no? Yung solo programmer, yung mga freelance, ayan. Okay? So, so hindi lang naman siya limited sa freelance. So for example, nakatask lang siya dun sa isang tao. Yung for example, may part ng program na pinagawa dun sa kanya, okay? And syempre, no, hindi maiwasan talaga na uh, meron talagang makakalusot na mga bugs dun sa program. Okay? And uh, dito. And most forms of testing are only 35% efficient. Okay? So this makes it difficult to determine yung quality. Okay? Coding errors lead to risk. Okay? Quality is everyone's job, the developer, the tester included, the manager, okay? And high quality should be the goal throughout the development process. Okay? So, syempre, once for example, ang isang program is ma-launch na, ma-implement na, kapag yan nagkaroon ng problema upon launch, nagkaroon ng error, no? Damay-damay yan, no? Sa isang team ng sa isang team ng mga developer, okay, naka-team sila, no? And may kanya-kanyang task sila. So isang magkamali diyan, isang magkamali, magkaroon ng for example, may natirang bug dun sa program ng isa and hindi na pansin, okay? Damay-damay yan dun sa buong program. Okay? So measuring the code quality. Okay, so how do we measure yung code quality? So key code quality aspects to measure, we have the reliability, maintainability, testability, portability, and reusability. So first is the reliability. Reliability measures the probability that a system will run without failure over a specific period of operation. So this relates dun sa mga defects nung software, no? Okay? So the number of defects can be measured by running a static analysis tool. Okay? Software availability can be measured using the mean time between failures or yung MTBF. Okay? Low defect counts are especially important for developing a reliable code base. So, maintainability. Okay? Ito napaka-important din itong maintainability, no? Okay? So, you can just use a single metric to ensure maintainability. Some metrics you may consider to improve maintainability are the number of stylistic warnings and Halstead complexity measures. But automation and human reviewers are essential for developing maintainable code bases. Testability, and it measures how well the software supports testing efforts. Okay? It relies on how well you can control, observe, isolate, and automate testing among the other factors. Testability can be measured based on how many test cases you need to find potential faults in the system. Okay? So ginagawa natin tong yung test na to, no? Meron tayong alpha, beta, no, to ensure na before we implement the system, no, we have all the necessary factors covered, no? Yung mga modules do sa system, yung mga functionalities is wala nang aberya. Okay? So size and complexity of the software can impact testability. So applying methods at the code level, such as cyclomatic complexity, can help you improve the testability of the component. So mamaya yung cyclomatic complexity, iyan natin. Dadaanan natin. So, ayan, portability. So, usually there isn't a specific measure of portability, but there are several ways you can ensure portable code. Okay? So, it is important to regularly test codes on different platforms. Okay? Rather than waiting until the end of development. It's also good idea to set your compiler warning levels as high as possible and use at least 2 compilers. Enforcing a coding standard also helps the portability. So, kung kayo kung nagde-develop kayo ng isang software, uh, usually you are going to test it into different devices, no? Para makita rin yung kanilang scalability, yung kanilang resizability, yung form nila, okay? And kung sa iba't ibang devices ba ay gumagana sila, no? So reusability. Reusability measures whether existing assets such as code can be used again. Okay? Assets are more easily reused if they have characteristics such as modularity or loose coupling. Okay? So reusability can be measured by the number of interdependencies. Running a static analyzer can help you identify these dependencies. May mga software tayo na pwede magamit dyan, may mga tools. No? So, these are the metrics, no? Ayan. So, ayan. There are several metrics you can use to quantify and the quality of your code. Two examples of this are metrics na one is yung defect metrics and the other is complexity metrics. First is the defect metrics. Okay? So the number of defects and severity of those defects are important metrics of overall quality. So sa defect metrics, hinahanap dito yung number of defects dun sa isang program, no? Ini-scan niya yung tinitignan dito yung mga defects dun sa code. Okay? So this includes identification of the stage in which the defects originates. Other is the number of open defects reports, time to identify and correct defects, defect density, yung dami nung defects per line. So complexity metrics complexity metrics can help in measuring quality, no? So this is a software metrics used to determine the complexity of a program. It is a count of the number of decisions in the source code. The higher the count, the more complex the code. Cyclomatic complexity is a source code complexity measurement that is being correlated to a number of coding errors. It is calculated by developing a control flow graph of the code that measures the number of linearly independent paths through a program module. So basically, itong complexity metrics, ang binibilang nito is yung nagre-refer dun sa dami ng conditions na meron dun sa ano, sa tawag dito, dun sa program, no? So yan, ah ito yung ano niya, yung formula niya, no? E minus n plus 2 times p. Ayan. So yung E is the number of edges in the flow graph, n number of nodes in the flow graph, p is the number of nodes that have exit points. Okay? So ito yung ano, yung example nung ano, nung flow graph. Ayan. Okay? So the cyclomatic complexity is calculated using the control flow diagram that shows 7 nodes. Okay? Yung nodes natin dito is yung shapes. Ayan. So we have 7, no? So ayan. Tapos 8 naman doon sa edges, which is yung line naman siya. Okay? So hence, the cyclomatic complexity is 8 minus 7 plus 2 equals 3. Okay? So how to improve code quality? Yan. Measuring quality helps you understand where you're at after you've measured. You can take steps to improve overall quality. Here are 4 ways to improve the quality of your code. Use a coding standard. Okay? And meron tayong 5 important coding standard na ginagamit. And analyze code, okay, before the code review. Follow code review, the best practices. Refactor legacy code. That is if it is necessary, no? So, what are the 5 important coding standards? So, naming of everything. So, this includes yung mga ano, yung naming ng mga class, ayan, yung class level sa method. Okay? So, complexity, no? So, when we are talking about complexity dito, dito yung ano, dito yung pumapasok yung dami nung ano nung conditions na meron sa isang program. Okay? So, size of methods and classes, duplication, okay? So, yung mga codes kasi, 'di ba, pwede nating ano 'yan, i-copy paste, no? So, ayan, readability of the code. Okay? So, dito, no, yung naming of everything tsaka yung readability of the code, yun yung medyo mahihirapan si programmer na hanapin yung mga may problema, no? Ano 'yan? Usually yung complexity kasi, yung complexity, size of methods and classes, pati yung duplication, it can be done. Pwede nating i-correct 'yan, pwede nating i-scan 'yan using a tool, no? Kagaya ng Sonar Cube. Okay? Pero yung naming of everything, yung mga naming na mga variables nyo, no? Mahihirapan mahihirapan tayong gumamit ng tools diyan, no? Usually kailangan pa rin ng help ng ano mismong programmer. Okay? Asa na? Pa tayo. Ayan. So, tools to improve Java code quality. Okay? So, Ayan. There is no developer who never made mistake. Tama. Wala namang developer na unang launch is ano talaga, ah, perfect talaga, no? So, ang bawat program na ini-implement, no, is done, and usually it takes time para mas ma-improve sila to a flawless state, no? Yung wala talagang problema. Okay? Usually the compiler catches the tactic and arithmetic issues and list out a stack trace, no? But there still might be some issues that compiler does not catch. This could be in appropriately implemented requirements, incorrect algorithms, bad code structure, or some sort of potential issues that the community knows from experience. The only way to catch such mistakes is to have some senior developer to review your code. Okay? So, yung ano, yung tawag dito, yung mga tools, no? Yung mga tools na ginagamit natin to check those errors is not omnipotent, no? Hindi nila lahat makikita yung mga certain problems dun sa code, no? Kailangan pa minsan kailangan pa din ng ano ng yung mga experts, okay, sa pagtingin ng mga codes na meron dun sa program. So such an approach is not the only solution and does not change much. So with each new developer in the team, you should have an extra pair of eyes that will look at his or her code. So usually pag nasa team ka, no, magandang practice 'yon na may titingin nung code mo, no? Hindi yung ikaw yung programmer tapos ikaw na lang din yung magte-test, no? Usually as a programmer, magiging complacent ka dun sa ginagawa mong program, and it might seem to you na walang problema. Pero pag iba na yung gumamit, no? Pag iba na yung gumamit, tsaka lumalabas yung mga problema, no? Na-experience ko 'yan. Na-experience din ng mga co-teachers ko 'yan sa sa ICT, no? So, yung bigla na lang lalabas yung problema sa code. Pero sa tingin ko as a programmer, wala namang problema, no? Bigla na lang sumulpot nung iba na yung gumamit. Oh. So ayan. So aside from that, no? Okay? Aside kung wala tayong extra pairs of eyes na titingin ng code natin, we can use these tools, no, to handle yung code quality natin, no? So we have here the check style, PMD, find bugs, and sonar cube. So ayan, may nadagdag. Ayan. So ayan. So check style, no? Check style is a static code analysis tools used in software development for checking if Java source code complies with coding rules. The checks performed by check style are mainly limited to the presentation of the code. These checks do not confirm the correctness or completeness of the code. Using check style will ensure that a consistent coding style is followed by the team developing the code, making it easier to read and understand. Okay? So, this check style na tool, no? Okay? Checks that can be performed using check style, naming convention of attributes and methods, the number of functions, function parameters,
line lengths, the presence of mandatory headers like copyrights, the use of imports and scope modifiers, the spaces between some characters, the practices of class construction, multiple code complexity measurements. So ito yung pwedeng ma-check ng gamit ang check style tool. So you can tawag dito, you can integrate this to Eclipse, no? Yung check style. Same dito sa PMD. Yan, kung gumagamit kayo ng Eclipse. So PMD is a static code analysis tools that is capable of automatically detect a wide range of potential bugs and add safe or non-optimized code. Okay? So it examines Java source code and looks for potential problems such as possible bugs, dead codes, suboptimal codes, overcomplicated expressions, and duplicated code. So here are a few bad practices that PMD deals with. Okay? So possible bugs, ayan, yung regarding sa empty try, catch, finally, switch, block, eating original exception, and throwing a new one. So dead code, tsaka yung empty if and while statement, overcomplicated expressions, yung mga conditions na nasobrahan na, no? Suboptimal code, wasteful string buffer usage, classes with high cyclomatic complexity measurements. So meaning yung yung conditions is napakarami ng conditions na nakalagay dun sa program. Okay? Which is not so not so necessary dun sa sa system na ginagawa, no? So incorrect big decimal usage. Okay? So same as check style, PMD can be used with Eclipse, IntelliJ, IDEA, Maven, Gradle, or Jenkins. So find bugs. Okay? Find bugs doesn't concern the formatting or coding standards, but is only marginally interested in best practices. So in fact, it concentrates on detecting potential bugs and performance issues and does a very good job of detecting a variety of many types of common, hard to find coding mistakes. So this includes yung thread synchronization problems, null pointer dereferences, infinite recursive loops, misuse of API methods. So find bugs is mainly used for identifying hundreds of serious defects in large applications that are classified into four ranks. Okay? So nakarank siya dun sa sa scariest, scary, troubling, and of concern. Ibig sabihin nito is ito yung severity ng problem na meron dun sa program. Okay? So dinedetect ni find bugs yung mga error, okay? Or yung mga defects dun sa code mo, dun sa code sa program, okay? And naka-rank siya, no? So, pag scariest, yun yung pinaka-severe, no? Na pwedeng makaapekto dun sa sa buong system, no? Scary. So, ayun, may tawag dito, it should pose a serious problem dun sa sa program or dun sa system na ginagawa. And then troubling, may cause a problem dun sa ano, sa mga modules, sa mga functions nung ano nung system na pwedeng lumabas kapag na-implement na siya. Ayan, of concern. Ayan. So ito yung mga example nung ano nung mga hinahanap niya, no? Okay? Yung mga nade-detect sa find bugs, yung mga infinite recursive loop. Yan. Yung null pointer exception. Ayan. This one is sa object. Yan, ito yung sa conditional if statement. So sonar cube, no? So I think sonar cube is the most used, no, sa ano sa apat na nauna, sa tatlong nauna, no. So sonar was designed to support global continuous improvement strategy in code quality within a company, and therefore can be used as a shared central system for quality management. It makes the management of code quality possible for any developer in the team. As a result, in recent years, it has become a world's leader in continuous inspection of code quality management systems. So some of SonarCube's useful features, yan. First is it doesn't show only what's wrong. It also offers quality management tools to help you put it right. So meron siyang ano, may option siya na magbibigay siya ng ano ng replacement for that certain problem dun sa code. So it doesn't only detect but also help you correct the mistake. No? Sonar Cube addresses not only bugs but also coding rules, test coverage, code duplications, complexity and architecture, providing all details in a dashboard. It also gives you a snapshot of your code quality at a certain moment of time, as well as trends of lagging and leading quality indicators. It provides you with code quality metrics to help you take the right decision. So there are code quality metrics that show your progress and whether you're getting better or worse. So papakita ko sana yung ano, yung sa Sonar Cube, kaso nagka-problema yung Sonar Cube ko nung in-install ko. Kaya hindi ko maano, de-demonstrate. Ayan. So CPD, no? Ito ay inad natin 'yan. No, CPD. Okay? So as the name suggests, it is a copy-based detector. Okay? Copy-paste detector. Okay? So that is extremely efficient even for large code bases. It is written using cabin string matching algorithm. It can be configured to detect duplications greater than a determined number of tokens. So copy-paste code is undesirable as it makes the code difficult to maintain and could lead to bug in scenarios where some change is made to one of the places and forgotten to be propagated at other places. So kapag ito kasi kapag ikaw nagka-copy ka ng code, no? For example, ayan, isang buong class yung kinopy mo, no? Ayan. And pinaste mo sa ibang module, sa ibang part ng program, no, system, no? And you made a change Suddenly you made a change kasi may napansin kang tawag dito, may napansin kang mali or konting adjustment, no? For example, pinalitan mo ng data type, okay? And doon sa isang kinapy mo na 'yon, no? Possible na malimutan mo nang i-change doon sa sa iba pang part ng program. So yung kinopy paste mo na 'yon, no? It will cause you problem. Okay? So si CPD siya yung ginagamit natin to detect yung ganitong klaseng duplication. Okay? So style and comments. So formatting conventions. Ayan, nabanggit natin kanina yung formatting conventions, no? So indent nested code. Nested code improves readability. So every time that you open a bracket, you should indent the code written after it. So maglalagay ka ng indent, yan lang, press tab kung nasanay ka na, no? Pag nagpo-program ka. Okay? So if else, kapag mag-enter ka, tab. Okay? So every time na mag-open ka ng bracket, no? Magtatab ka. Okay? So the indentation should continue until the bracket is closed. So the indentation should not be that of a tab. Okay? Tab indentation is too much and will make code harder to read instead of easier. So may mali pala ako, no? So doon sa nakita ko example dito, no? Space lang yata yung ginamit niya. Correct me if I'm wrong, no? So, ayan. Asan ako? So, 3 spaces is the best indentation. So, 3 spaces yung ginagawa natin, no? But for me, no, mas nasanay ako sa tab, no? Yung practice ng formatting convention na to is hindi na-apply sa akin. Ayan. So, using brackets, you should always open a bracket at the end of a statement. You should always close the bracket at the beginning of a line. So, regarding sa white space, code needs some strategically located white space to improve readability. So, use blank lines to separate each logical sections of the program. For example, may mga part ng program na para sa isang function, no? And yung susunod na line should be for another function. So, you put white space dun sa sa in between nila, no? Para mas makita yung separation ng mga codes. Okay. So ito yung ayan, example sa class level. Ayan. So space, I think this is 3 spaces. Okay. So ayan. Method level. So sa looping, ayan siya. So same dito sa if else statement. In-apply natin yung yung formatting convention na ginamit natin. So ayan. So sa switch. So this one is naka-indent din siya, no? So for another level. Okay. So ayan, naming conventions. So use meaningful names for your classes and your methods. Okay? And follow the specific conventions mentioned dito, no, sa So first is do not use names that are too long. Okay? So ito, example. Int, I school identification number. So napakahaba, no? So usually yung iba ginagawa na lang is mag-abbreviate na lang sila. Ayan. So ayan, capitalize only the first letter in acronyms. So ayan, int uh, IP DA number. So instead of PDA, no, naka uppercase lahat. Okay? Capitalize the first letter of each word that appears in a class or interface name. Okay? So ayan. Another is use noun when naming classes. Use nouns or adjectives when naming interfaces. So for method names, use lowercase for the first word and capitalize only the first letter of each of the remaining words. Use verbs as names for methods. Ayan, example is yung public, void, love finder. Okay? So yung pangalan nung nung void sa kanya is yung love finder. So I think ang program na ginagawa nito is dating app yata, no? Ayan. So ayan. May tawag dito naka-camel case, no? So for variable names, use lowercase for the first word and capitalize only the first letter of each of the remaining words. Use nouns as names for variable. So example is int I book entries. Ayun. So to name constants, use uppercase for each word and separate each pair of words with an underscore. So this is only applicable in constant naming. So final double pi equals 3.1416. Example. So final int max underscore count equals 27. So yung max count niya. Okay? Yung sa max count niya, merong underscore. Okay? So kapag constant, ayan, inom lang ako, sir. So use descriptive names for all variables, function names, constants, and other identifiers. So use single letter identifiers only for the counter in loops. So variable names start with lowercase. Multi-word identifiers are internally capitalized. Do not use hyphens or underscores to separate multi-word identifiers. Okay? So these are the naming conventions na pwede nating sundin sa ating coding, okay, to maintain a good quality of code. So also, by following yung naming conventions na tinukoy natin kanina, no, it will also help yung mga team members doon sa isang development team para mas madali nilang maintindihan yung existing na codes. Okay? So in case na meron silang gagawing modifications, they can easily understand yung mga variables, yung mga pwede nilang baguhin. So comments are used in programs to make the code more understandable. So comments in Java, no? So ito yung mga remarks, no? It makes a program more intelligible and they set the details of the code. Appropriate utilization of remarks also makes support simpler and discovering bugs effectively. Okay? Usually sa comments, we put yung mga ano nga, mga uh, kung ano yung use nung code na yon. Okay? So para yung mga kasama natin sa isang team can easily follow up dun sa ginagawang project. So we have three types of comments na ginagamit. So first is yung single line, then multi-line, and then documentation. So sa single line comments, so it is for beginners and is a single line Java comments. So for example, kung ang i-comment mo lang do sa program, do sa code is ano lang, isang line lang, no? For example, nag-comment ka lang doon tungkol sa isang variable, no? You are pointing out kung ano yung use ng variable na yon, then uh, you are going to use yung single line comments. So paano natin ginagawa yung single line comments, no? So ito siya. Okay? So ang example natin dito is ayan, public class comment example 1. Okay? So dito naglagay siya ng comment after nung variable na yung declaration ng variable int I is equals to 10. Okay? So ang nakalagay diyan here I is a variable. So yan, naka-slash yan. Uy, nawala. Ayan. Okay? So multi-line Java comments are used wherever we need to explain a procedure. Single line comments become tedious in this case as we will need to write double slash at the start of every line. Okay? So here ang ginamit niya is ano, may asterisk, no? Slash then asterisk. Magkaiba yata ng ano. Ayan. So so paglalagay ng comments, for example, hindi uh, you are going to use the next line, no? You have to use yung asterisk, no? Mag-i-include ka ng asterisk. So, para kang may open tag para dun sa comment and then may closing tag ka. Ayan na. So, documentation comments. So, this kind of Java comments is utilized by large code for a programming bundle since it produces a documentation page for reference which can be utilized for getting data about strategies, its parameters, and so forth. So, ito yung example niya, no? Okay. So, as you can see, ang difference niya doon sa multi-line, usually, parang ano lang siya, same lang siya sa multi-line. The difference is we are using a certain tool para dito, no? Java we are using Javadoc tool, no? The documentation comment is used to create documentation API. So to create documentation API, kailangan natin gamitin yung Javadoc tool. Ayan. So if you put this kind of comments dun sa code, we can produce yung naka-document siya and we can open it uh, through an HTML na file. Okay. So ito. So Javadoc. Okay. So Javadoc is a tool which comes with JDK and it is used for generating Java code documentation in HTML format from Java source code, which requires documentation in a predefined format. So, ayan. Sa Javadoc natin, Javadoc comments, meron tayong usually 3 levels na magagamit. Yung class level, yung field level, and yung method level. No? And yung Javadoc comments natin, meron pa siyang 2 sections. Okay? It is commonly made up of 2 sections. So, the description of what we're commenting on and the standalone block tags marked with the @ symbol, which describes specific metadata. So, sa example natin dito, ayan. So, we have a short description and ayan, yung standalone tags appear after description with the tag as the first word in a line. So, sa example natin dito, ang standalone tag natin is yung naka @author Captain America. Okay? So this is the standalone tag. And inline tags may appear anywhere and are surrounded with curly brackets. Okay? So dito, ito siya sa @link.com.bildung.javadoc.person. Ayan. Ito yung ating inline tags. Okay? In between kasi siya dito sa comment na to. Ayan. So, kaya naka-inline tag siya. So, by the way, this one is the class level. Okay? So, this one here is the field level. Okay? So, private fields won't have Javadoc generated for them unless we explicitly pass the private option to the Javadoc command. So, sa method level, ayan siya. Okay. So, yung @param, ito, @parameter, it provides any useful description about a method's parameter or input it should expect. @return, this one here, no, provides a description of what a method will or can return. @c will generate a link similar to the link tag, but more in the context of a reference and not inline. @since, okay, specifies which version the class, field, or method was added to the project. @throws is used to further explain the cases the software would expect an exception. So ayan. Deprecated gives an explanation of why code was deprecated, when it may have been deprecated, and what the alternatives are. So, ayan, generation of Javadoc. To create Javadoc, you do not need to compile the Java file. To create the Java documentation API, you need to write Javadoc followed by yung file name. Okay? So, ito yon. So, Javadoc, tapos yung file name, ito yung command na ginagamit natin. Yan. So, this one naman, yung Javadoc tags. Yung kaninang in-example natin sa field level, method level pala. Okay? So, ito yung mga tags na pwede nating magamit. Ayan. So, yan. So, at author, ba't napipindot ko? Ayan. At author describes an author. Ayan. Parameter. So, yung C, so generate a link to other element of the document. So, version provides the version. Kung anong version siya dito na generate. And then return provides the return value. So, para maano natin siya, para ma-generate natin yung Javadoc sa Eclipse, open ko lang. So this one here is an example of a program na nakita ko lang, no? Because I'm not really very familiar with Java, no. So ito, kapag mag-ano tayo, pag generate tayo ng Javadoc, okay? So pupunta tayo sa project, ayan, sa menu, under ng menu, ayan. And then generate Javadoc. Now, may lalabas dito na ano na dialog, ayan, na options, ayan. Hahanapin natin dito ngayon yung file natin kung saan nakalagay yung documentation. Okay? So, in case dito, no, ito siya, yung exa, ayan. So, sinelect natin siya, ayan siya. Since siya lang yung ano natin dito, no, siya lang yung class natin dito. So, ito siya, example.java. Ito yung class na create natin dito sa project. And then, you have to select yung kanyang destination kung saan siya masasave. Okay? In case dito naka-default siya doon sa ano sa Eclipse workspace. Ayan. Copy ko na lang. And then since naka-select na siya, naka-select na kung ano yung mga naka-document, no? So mapapansin niyo dito, no, may ano, mapapansin niyo dito sa ano sa code is merong naka documentation comment. Ayan siya. Okay? Ito. Ayan. So dapat makikita natin siya doon sa i-create nating Javadoc. So select, ayan. And then di ko napapalitan yung destination, finish. Ipa-process niya 'yon. So ayan. And then hanapin natin sa ano. Ayan, makikita natin siya dito sa ating folder ng Eclipse workspace. So sinave na yung project name natin is exa, no? So ito siya. Tapos yung naka-save natin kanina, yung naka-open natin sa kanya is yung example.java. So ito siya, pag inopen natin siya, save ba siya na open? Yan ako na sa browser. So ito yung ma-open nating ano, Javadoc file. Ito siya. So naka-document na dito yung nilagay natin dun sa code. Okay. So, ayan. This is a program for adding two numbers in Java. Ayan. Okay. Meron pa ba? So basically ganun lang yung susundan for Javadoc comments, no, to produce the Javadoc. It is very important yung yung Javadoc kasi kapag Javadoc ang ginawa nyo, mas clean siya tignan and mas madali siyang intindihin kasi naka-classify na siya, and madali na lang din siyang ipasa doon sa mga kasama nyo na nagpo-program din sa project. Ayan. Wala. So ito yon yung sinundan kanina. Ayan. So ayan. So sir, yun po yung conclusion nung report ko. Okay? So thank you very much po.
Okay, you just stay with that in presentation for me to add some additional inputs.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so thank you very much, sir. Again, as what I've mentioned earlier, no, that over the years of working on different software development projects, we have accumulated our own experience of making the good code better. So we recommend to do during the whole process of improve the code quality, of course, follow the programming language style guide, adhere the solid principles in your design. You just give descriptive names for methods and variables. It's too important. Again, do not over design. It must be advisable for us to use design patterns. Do not reinvent a wheel and use third-party frameworks. No? And use efficient data structure and algorithm, create unit tests, no? Document all aspects of your project, and keep all elements of your project under the version control system. So by doing all of all these points and using the code quality analysis tools in conjunction with development methodology in your everyday programming practices, you will eventually create more readable, more thoroughly tested, more likely to run correctly, and much simpler to revise the code. You will also save yourself, your team, and your customers from a lot of headaches, time, and therefore money, of course. Then when it comes to code convention for the Java programming language, of course, we need to consider the lifetime cost of a piece of software, no, goes to maintenance, no, because hardly any software is maintained for its whole life by the original author. So the code conventions improve the readability of the software, allowing engineers to understand new code more quickly and thoroughly. So if you ship your source code as a product, you need to make sure it as well packaged and clean as any other product you can use. Now, for the file name, of course, it commonly use the suffix and name, no? So Java software uses the following file suffixes, no? Like for Java source, that Java, for Java bytecode, that is that class, no? And the frequently used file names, of course, we have the preferred name for make files, and we use GNU, no, make, to build our software, and the preferred name for the file that summarizes the content of a particular directory. When it comes to file organization, no, specifically for that, no, each Java source file contain a single public class or interface. So when private classes and interfaces are associated with a public class, you can put them in some source that file can file as the public class. Now, the public class should be in the first class or interface in the file. No? The Java source files have the following ordering: no? Beginning comments, package and import statement, class and interface declarations. No? For indention, of course, we have first spaces should be used at the unit of indention. So the exact construction of the indention, because space versus tabs, no, is unspecified. Tabs must be set exactly every 8 spaces. No? And at the same time, no, the Java source code example a while ago as presented of our presenter using different codes, no, and some tags available for the Javadoc. Actually, when it comes to Javadoc, no, Javadoc is a tool, no, which comes with JDK, and it is used for generating Java code documentation in HTML format from Java source code, which requires documentation in a predefined format. So I think we are all familiar, no, with because you can include required HTML tags inside the description part, no? So for instance, the following example makes use the common HTML tags, no? Like H1 for header, P for paragraph, and so on and so forth. Okay, so the common Java doc tags, no? We have, of course, the @code, no? @doc root, depreciated, exemption, inherited doc, link, no, link plain. We have param, return, serial, no, serial data, serial field, since, throws, value, and version. So that is an example of the Javadoc tags. So I think that's it for the discussion related to Sir Jeff Morales. So thank you, sir, and congratulations.